Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of our TESCH Talks. Today we're at Ward 4. Seems to be a place that we like to have interviews take place. And our guest today is Saul. He is the Executive Director for the Wisconsin Veteran Chamber of Commerce. I actually heard him speak at the Startup Milwaukee Kickoff and thought it was really cool to hear what they do to help support veteran-run businesses. Surprisingly enough, Wisconsin is home to over 65,000 veteran businesses, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you for sitting down with us and tell us more about the chamber.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to join you. So the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce is a membership-based nonprofit organization. We're based here in Milwaukee, but we cover the entire state. We have members in Madison, in La Crosse, Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls, Wausau, Green Bay, Fox Valley, and we continue to grow. Like a local chamber of commerce, businesses pay dues annually. That's how we support ourselves in exchange for benefits and programs that we put on. The difference is, whereas a local chamber of commerce focuses on a specific community or geographic area, our focus is on the needs of veteran service members and their families. As you mentioned, there are more than 65,000 businesses across the state that are owned by military veterans. Veterans historically, continuing to today, are a incredibly entrepreneurial demographic and group of people. They play incredibly important roles in our workforce, in our civic life. And so our role is to really help support those business and community leaders and develop more leaders that can make Wisconsin a better place to live.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're a veteran yourself. So tell me how you got a part of the chamber then.
Sure.
Because obviously you're really passionate about
Yeah.
helping.
It definitely is a passion project. I'm lucky to be able to do what I'm passionate about as my job. I enlisted in the Army in 2009. I'm originally from suburban Milwaukee, and I spent about 13 months in Afghanistan. The rest of the time was stationed in Colorado. When I got out of the military, I did what a lot of service members and veterans do. I used my education benefits and went back to school. One of the challenging things about serving in the military, especially serving in the military in an active duty capacity, is that you're really uprooted and sent, literally around the world. And once you return, if you return to where you're originally from, your personal and professional network really doesn't exist anymore. If you're lucky, you have close family and friends who you're still in touch with, but the world doesn't stop spinning for 3 or 5 or 10 years while you're serving your country. And so I certainly found that to be the case for me as I was getting done with my education, trying to find a way to, build connections with people, build relationships with people who could help me in my job search. And I was really lucky that I had a friend who had done some work with another chamber of commerce. And so when I asked if there was a chamber of commerce or a business organization dedicated to veterans, he said that there wasn't, and that really surprised me. And so I decided to start one.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So in September of 2015, we held our first networking event here in Milwaukee. I always like to joke that the first event that we held had about 10 people attend, and just about half of them weren't directly related to me, so I counted it as a win and kept going. And fast forward to today, and we have just about 300 dues-paying members of the organization.
That's great.
Yeah.
So all varying different industries, etc. So it's inclusive of all of that.
Yeah, and it's really representative of the veteran population as a whole. That a lot of folks aren't necessarily familiar with veterans or the military because, as opposed to prior generations, it's a very small percentage of the population that serves in the military. But the military is a reflection of society as a whole, and it certainly is reflected in the demographics of veterans as a population, but it's also reflective in everything that veterans do. There's no concentration of veterans in a particular industry or business type or geographic location. Really, it's a very broad and diverse broad and diverse
Cool.
population.
So tell me about the different programs you guys offer for
Sure.
these veterans.
So we offer 28 different programs through the organization. Many of those are event-based, some are more educationally focused, and others are more marketing focused. We host roughly about 56 events every year. So we're incredibly
So
active.
more than 1 week.
Yeah. All of those events, all of those programs generally fall into one of three areas, areas that we call our programming pillars. The first pillar is business development, certainly supporting veteran entrepreneurs, veteran-owned businesses, helping them operate more efficiently, learn the things that they need to know to be successful and increase their revenue. We have a business accelerator program here at Ward 4 that we're able to offer membership in this co-working space and educational content to 10 veteran entrepreneurs at no cost. We have educational events that we put on, and we have marketing programs that can help businesses promote themselves as being veteran-owned.
Cool.
We also work with businesses that aren't necessarily owned by veterans, but are looking to promote their products and services to veterans and military family members.
Okay, great.
So on a small scale, think of a coffee shop that might offer a small discount for a cup of coffee. On a much larger scale, think of an organization like USAA, where that's really their target customer. So much in the same way, helping those organizations learn what they need to learn, operate more efficiently, and gain customers. Our second pillar is workforce development. We play, I think, a really unique and important role in the ecosystem of workforce development, in that we don't do a lot of work with individual veterans. There are a lot of resources out there that can help a veteran if they're looking for job search assistance or resume review or interview preparation, and we certainly work with a lot of those resources. Where we really saw a gap was working directly with employers to teach them how to be inclusive and welcoming and empowering employers, I should say,
Right.
So that they can actually recruit and retain veterans and military service members and families as employees. So we work directly with employers to teach them how to recruit and interview and assess candidates and retain talent over the long term. So that's our second pillar. Our third pillar is community development, acting as a connection point and a facilitator between the business community and the thousands of nonprofit organizations out there who are serving veterans and their families. So if a business is interested in engaging in the community, they can work with us to find good, impactful, reputable organizations with whom they can work.
Cool. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a nice breadth of different offerings, depending on where they are kind of in their journey too. So not just like at the infancy stage, it can be, they're 2 years down in the road and they can come and get some support. So
Absolutely.
that's great.
In my experience, I have not yet come across a business or an organization that would not benefit in some way from working with us. And I think that's because there's value in engaging with veterans in a variety of different ways. And so sometimes it's just a lack of knowledge and a lack of awareness in how a business can really leverage veterans and take full advantage of the value that they bring to the table in whatever way that means.
So what is the next big event that you guys are putting on that people should be coming to?
Our next big event is in March of next year. We host our next big event is in March of next year. We host Veterans Light Up the Arts. It's an all-veteran, multidisciplinary art showcase.
Oh, nice.
With photographers, sculptors, painters. We have a performance section that includes basically any medium of art that you can think of, from filmmaking to theatrical performances. We've had a stand-up comedian in the past. But the purpose and the intent of that event is to draw attention to all of the different ways that veterans and service members contribute to the arts and cultural landscape of southeastern Wisconsin.
That's really great. And where does that take place?
The Milwaukee Art Museum. And that will be held on March 8th, Friday, March 8th.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds like something I definitely want to go to.
Hope to see you there.
Yeah. Well, if people want to learn more about the Chamber and your programs and your offerings and your events going on, they can just go to the website?
Yes, they can go to our website, wiveteranschamber.org. It has all the information about all of the events that we host throughout the year, all of the different programs that we put on, and ways that they can get involved.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's really great what you're doing.
Thank you very much. I
Thanks.
appreciate you having me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.